Hey guys, welcome back to the Prime Dude Podcast. I'm your host, Rob Edwards. And today's show was going to be about transitioning from summer to fall. It's still not September yet. It's the end of August. I'm going to do it next week after Labor Day, even though the weather is plenty warm where I live in South Texas. But I changed the show today to be about boots, mainly because I had quite a surprise when I was doing my first ever Grant Stone boot review. And you guys know I unbox a lot of those reviews here on the shoe table behind me. If you haven't, check out some of my shoe reviews. I've got a ton coming. But this was my first Grant Stone experience. I was really excited. Heard and read a lot of great things about this American company that makes Goodyear welted boots in China. The price range is in the mid 500s to start. This pair of green olive boots, it's their Edward boot, a real sleek service style boot, but a little bit dressier than their diesel. Really excited to get a discount on these. They were brand new. Got them last week. First thing I did when I got back from a trip to Puerto Rico for work and for vacation was open these boots with you live. So what I did is I did the review without having looked myself. I did the unboxing with you guys first. That's how I was going to do it. And that is always a risk. If you've ordered a fair amount of shoes or boots in your life, you know it's always a bummer, or there's something off right away you notice and you don't want it to be true because you've been so excited. Well, that might be the case. I'm going to get right to it now. Before I do, like, subscribe, hit your alerts. Thanks for all of your support. But unlike my normal reviews, I made a little bit of a deviation. So I'm going to show you the shoe table portion, a short version of it, come back and talk to you about what I think overall of Grant Stone's boots. And then I'm going to end on a couple other pairs I've scored because we are transitioning into fall. And I do think fall and winter are more of a boot season. Now, dress boots, I think, are year-round. But let's get to the Grant Stone shoe table, and let's talk afterwards. All right, my first pair of Grant Stone boots. I can get the box lid off here. Very exciting. We're looking at this for the first time. Always comes with some initial fit. Basically, for folks that are new to boots, there's always a little room. Some people think if there's an inch, half inch, the boot's too big, but it's not. Nice burlap feel. And then now to the first boot. This is olive, right? Edward boot. Let's get this out. Wow. Look at that. Really cool color. Look at that in the lighting. Their version of a commando sole. Definitely a hard-wearing, a little bit dressier boot. Taking a closer look, I did have a chance to try these on. The first thing I need to mention is sizing, and then we'll get to some of the imperfections of the leather. When I say imperfections, this clearly has been tried on by a few people. You can see some scratching right here. These are surface. I can take care of these, and I probably will, rather than return them. But first of all, I went with olive green. This is the kind of olive I like because it has a hint of brown mixed in. This is a fully 360-degree Goodyear welted. Boot is made in China. The company is American. Grant Stone's an American company where they source their leather. This is from Charles F. Stead. It is their Brooklyn calf. It's one of their finer leathers. Their pit tanning process involves aniline dyes in the natural leather. This is not including the color. And you can see there's beautiful, what I call light play on the leather. Sizing now. This, one of my theories, when a boot company or a shoe company doesn't give great sizing guidance, you're going to have a lot of turnover with the boots if you're not ordering them first. For instance, their fit guidance says to go with your standard Goodyear welt size. Well, luckily I kind of misread because they say half size down of your regular or sneaker shoes. I read that meaning half size from your normal Goodyear welt. So I'm an average size width. I ordered a 10D, US 10D, which would be a UK 9. And when I received the boots, there's still a little bit of room. This is a good fit. Definitely go a half size down on this Edward boot, which is on the Leo last. So I think a lot of folks read those fit guide directions. You can see them on the website and they take it literally. They go, okay, had I ordered a 10.5D, I'd have been slipping and sliding around these and had to return them. The more times these boots change hands, the more risk of these little surface scratches that, frankly, some of these companies overlook. You know, if you look at the stitching of, the hind quarter and lacing system here, it's not immaculate. This is always the issue with China. You know, you see those scratches still up close here. As I'm handling the boot, I'm definitely seeing a departure, a slight departure of quality in the stitching that I would expect when I pay over $300 for a Chromexcel leather boot. This is kip lined, so it's different than calfskin lined leather shoes or boots. You can feel it's very soft, but it's not as soft as calfskin. They specifically use kip lining for the leather to give it a more sturdy feel when you wear it, and to give you a little bit of a view of the insole, sort of the midsole there. You can't, it's going to shadow out, and that is all vegetable tanned leather. I think it's a bit unacceptable to accept these kinds of light scratches. I haven't even looked at the other boot. I tried this one on. It fits, again, 10D, but just keep that in mind. It's your decision. You know, there's creasing here. This boot has definitely been worked on a bit, and could also maybe be argued probably should be $50 to $75 less, but the color's out. There's no exchange option for me. I'll take a look at the other one, and in my closing, I'll update whether or not I decided to keep these. All right, so I decided to look at the other boot before finishing the review or even considering wearing these, and I am not. I'm going to return these. I'm going to get my money back. This is the other boot. This is the right foot, and you can see just dents. I mean, these are more than just scratches. There's one really significant one here. It's like its own lip. Some of these regions are known for trying to get past quality. Now, this is an American company. There's like an actual like punch hole dimple there. I mean, come on, guys. And, you know, again, I got to apparently the bottom of the barrel with what was left in this olive color, which I really like. So I'm glad I gave you guys a review of the construction. These are split reverse welted boots from Grant Stone that I am not even going to bother probably ordering from them again. There's not going to be a conclusion with wear and use here, guys. I'm sending this back. This is a joke. So 0 for 1 Grant Stone. Not sure I'll give them a chance. For those of you out there that rave about this company, I just don't get it, frankly. I mean, the boot's okay, but you clearly don't know Blackbird shoes, because they bury these guys in quality. I have a pair of their boots, a couple pairs of their shoes. There's just absolutely no way you need to pay this much money. I mean, these retail were going for around a little over $400. Give me a break. I mean, to send me this, I mean, these are pre-owned. These should be $120. I honestly don't want to send them back. Part of me wants to just give them to Goodwill, so someone like you out there isn't hosed with this. And you can tell I'm getting pretty irritated as this goes on. These boots are just trashed. Okay, so there's not much more that needs to be said about these. This is the right boot, the one that I closed with. I don't know how well it shows here, but there are little dents. I mean, on this side, I'm looking closer for the first time. This shoe has just been beaten down for a new boot, right? And so it is a strong made boot. I do think they probably don't deliver this experience normally, but I'm totally unimpressed. I'm not sure if I can go back to Grant Stone for a pair of boots after they sent me something in such poor condition. And I'm sorry to say, this had been my experience with just about everything made in China up until I had a recent boutique made-to-measure suit experience when I was there last year, and also my experience with Yearn Shoemaker and, to a degree, Meermin. But before that, things that I had made in China, like suits, at a very low price, had major quality issues that didn't really make the savings worth it. And frankly, I mean, just looking at the stitching on this, I might be able to give them a pass, as I said at the shoe table, if this is something that just missed some quality control. I mean, this dimple here, it's a joke. But when I look at the stitching, this is not in the league of even Allen Edmonds for boots, and this is a boot company. I am probably not going to give them a chance. I expect something that's going to be over $300 made in China to be impeccable. And so for those of you out there that are such massive fans of Grant Stone and go on and say they're better than this company like Allen Edmonds or others, I'm sorry, you can't be correct. Aside from the wear that's happened to these particular boots, let's call this an isolated incident, the stitching is a different story. That is an indication of something that has been overlooked way too harshly, or I'm sorry, way too easily in the factory. The quality control is clearly not there. And these are not shoes I can trust to be hard wearing as they indicate on the website. Okay, moving on. I had just mentioned Meermin in my experience with Meermin. It wasn't always good. My first pair of Meermin shoes were a hole cut in a dark brown. I actually had to send it back twice, ended up punting and getting something else because those shoes also were scraped up on the surface. Now, there were no dents or irreparable issues that I had with the Grant Stone. I didn't have that with the Meermin shoe, but I've gone to some other shoes since, some loafers I really like. And this is a suede dark brown boot from Meermin that actually mirrors, in a way, I think it's inspired by one of the boots that James Bond, Sean Connery's character wore, and I believe it was GoldenEye. He actually pulled off a suede chukka boot with a three-piece gray suit in that film. I'll overlay a quick picture. One of my favorite looks, and I think this just gives you a chance to get some real versatility out of this boot. I'll link it below from Meermin. I've since tried these on. I've got a full review coming out, but fall and winter are coming, and suede is a great option if you're not going to be in wet conditions. People get kind of funny about suede. I've done some shorts on suede. I love how suede looks and feels. In this rubber sole, it's an interesting take, right? You've got a day-night, or actually it's their own Meermin rubber sole, but very similar to day-night in the dimples on a suede boot. Gives it a little bit of a hard wearing option. Definitely going to hold up better with wet ground, but of course with suede, you got to be careful. Always with the Saphir spray on suede, you can get moisture out, but it's a very delicate process using the suede cleaner from Saphir. Definitely mix it with water if you have issues, but this is an awesome boot for the price. These are around $200 from Meermin. I haven't checked since any additional tariffs. They've been held pretty strong in about the $225 price range for most of their Goodyear welted products. The Goodyear welted, right, soft suede calf leather chukka boot, great option transitioning into warmer weather. I think a chukka gets you, unless it's a lighter color or a lighter suede, I think this is a great fall and winter option for those cold nights, something that's really going to be business casual if you need it to be, but a great dressy, snappy casual option from Meermin. What do you guys think about suede boots? I am just now getting into them. I love suede shoes. I love suede loafers, but I think with boots, leather is probably the most popular. People love shell Cordovan. I actually just ordered a pair on eBay that I'm going to send back. There's some discoloration on one of them. I paid a pretty high price, even though they were less than retail from Alden. It was a beautiful cigar brown cap toe shell Cordovan boot that unfortunately I just didn't love how the color is. And that's the great thing about eBay. I returned them, but I did score this week on eBay. Got these Dalton boots in an oxblood from Allen Edmonds, and these are right brand new old stock, NOS old stock from Allen Edmonds. Really excited. I keep looking at the boots on the screen because I love this color. It's different than their burgundy. It's a little bit lighter, as you can see. It has a different light play, really high quality. Dalton is that full wingtip medallion toe boot, derby style, right, with the very subtle brass eyelets. So it gives it a dressy feel. It's not too big and brass. Really nice, and brass eyelets all the way up to the top of the saddle of the boot, which makes it a little more dressy than if you have those, I'm drawing a blank, those switchback, pullback stirrup styles for boots, as you have at the top of above the top eyelets, you have in a more casual or more service style boot. This is definitely a dress boot. You've got full leather soles from Allen Edmonds. You can see these are brand new, and it's a really interesting sticky quality to the leather. So this is probably a boot that retailed, I haven't looked up, but I'm going to guess probably in a 2017, 2018 range, brand new. And for new old stock, there are very few surface scratches on the upper of these boots, the leather, and just a really fun boot that I'm excited to style and wear. I'll probably do a quick shoe table look and release that separately of these, but the Dalton boot is a famous long runner for Allen Edmonds, and this one did not disappoint. I got this for well under retail. I think I got it for about $180 on eBay, which was a score for new old. No, it was actually 200 new old stock, a little bit of shipping on top, but these are essentially brand new. Didn't come with the original box. I can deal with that, but really excited about boot season. And I wanted to end on a positive note with the Dalton, with the Meermin boots, with suede as a discussion. I think if you don't mind being boot and shoe aware once in a while, meaning knowing what you're around and knowing the weather, Suede is such a stylish option for the fall and winter season in dark colors, and it's a year-round option in loafers, especially for the summer. I've got a great pair of tassel suede loafers. I'll overlay a picture of those from Beckett Simon. I just love them, and I've worn them a few times this summer. They're great. They're dressy enough with the tassel to give you a business casual option with a jacket when you're in hot climates like I always am in places like Florida, Louisiana, or South Texas. So stay tuned. Next week, I'm going to talk about my favorite pants that you can get in plenty of time for the colder weather now from companies like Proper Cloth and Bonobos, and a few others I'm going to discuss that I have on order. I've got a few that are available, will be available on these websites for a couple more months. The not moleskin, but the mohair style peached khaki style chinos, and of course more flannel wool slacks. I've got a pair from Luxire I'll talk about next week, a really cool company that actually gets their hands on cloth from places like Fox Brothers, really well-renowned English cloth and fabric providers for some of the best suits in the world. Luxire, Luxire, gets their hands on a bunch of these fabrics, and they make amazing pleated pants, slacks for guys like us out there for business that are great for cold weather. So really appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you got something out of my Grant Stone discussion. I got the boots right here. Again, these aren't bad boots, but I think from my experience, just be wary. They've got a return policy, so I'll be able to get my money back, and I'll write them an email and see what they say about why they would send me a pair in this condition as brand new. So stay tuned for that. I want to hopefully end on a positive note with Grant Stone, and maybe I'll give him another chance. All right, guys, have an awesome week. Thanks again for tuning in. Like, subscribe, hit the alerts, put some comments down below. Let me know what you think. What are your favorite boots? What are you looking forward to wearing this fall and this winter as things get colder? It's almost Labor Day. Really excited for the fall season. Football, if you like that here in the United States, it's fully on. Of course, the English Premier League and worldwide soccer is still going. Baseball's on here. So it's a fun, great time to get into your fashion. Drop some questions below, make some recommendations, and as always, stay prime.